大家好，欢迎大家来到磊磊扑克。今天继续给大家带来 Linus 在 PokerStars 高额信金桌的经典手牌赏析。这次我们来听听看知名高额玩家 MMAsherdog 是如何分析 Linus 手牌的。如果大家喜欢我的视频，记得长按点赞3连哦。先来介绍下 MMAsherdog， 他虽然是知名线上高额桌玩家，但是之前线下身份还是蛮神秘的，直到最近他被要求用实名账户在 GG Poker 上打牌，才被确认真实身份。大家应该很快会在千算扑克看到我解说他的视频。MMAsherdog 来自荷兰，真名伍特比莫斯，他的 ID 来自于他的另一个爱好 MMA 的运动博彩。我们下面将他亲切地称为狗哥。2018年的时候 ，Upswing 的教练 Educa Poker 做过一个极具争议的6人桌最强者排名，其中将狗哥排到了第8位。我们这里不评价这个排名的公信力，只是看一下 Educa Poker 对狗哥的评价。基本上是说狗哥没有老派玩家那种鲜明的个人风格，但策略比较完善，对理论把握很深刻，估计就是 solver N 的比较多的意思。狗哥应该还是蛮认可这个评价的，因为他自己的频道有转载这个片段。狗哥除了打牌之外还有很多副业，他自己办了培训网站 bluffthespot， 然后有经营 YouTube 频道，更新还挺频繁，而且可以明显感觉到他现在在这一块投入的精力越来越大。另外他也在Twitch做直播，以前都是帮一些学员复盘，但是最近都在做高额桌解说。他直播的时候和粉丝互动还是挺频繁的，也会说很多行业八卦，挺有意思。这里就是狗哥的 YouTube 频道，大家可以看到标题和封面都很专业。我们今天来看一下狗哥 YouTube 频道播放量最大的视频 Linus 的前10大底池手牌解析。视频里面还有一个嘉宾 Show of Force， 是狗哥的第一个学生，现在定居在马耳他，也是高额玩家，也做 YouTube， 不过更新频率比较随性。那我们现在开始听一下狗哥的解说吧。第一手牌是 Linus 和 True Taylor 的单挑。
This hand is 100-200 heads up deep stack between True Teller and Linus, so it's a pretty sick game because they're so deep. True Teller is definitely a guy with a lot of money and a lot of heads up deep stacked experience, even though Linus probably has the better fundamentals. So let's see.
Definitely has the balls there.
Yes, they both have big balls.
The big balls advantage. Okay.
So Linus opens Jack 3, which is not a great hand, but you're heads up, right? And you're posting blinds every hand. And True Teller's hand is like decent, so it's generally going to be call. You would like to 3-bet like a more playable or a worse hand or a much better hand. This hand is like right in the middle. Not anymore. Top 2 pair. He checks. Doesn't really make sense to lead here. He doesn't have any particular advantage here. Linus bets half pot. So this is a board in which you could do many things. You can bet small, medium, large. So Linus is thinking, well, I have top pair and unblock all the draws, so I'm going to bet this hand and probably, check back turn or river.
Yeah.
True Teller raises.
Let's see you check back now.
Yeah. Easy call, of course. I mean, Linus, he blocks hands like the ones that True Teller has, and he unblocks every single hand like 9-7, etc.
Yeah.
Deuce turn. This is a turn in which True Teller should go for a very large sizing, or he should check. Check he does.
Nice. What do you think about this mix?
I think it's good. I mean, True Teller also unblocks all of Linus's air, right? So if he checks turn, he gets to check raise again. And also, you want to check sometimes on the turn, not just with King 8, but you also want to check some good stuff. So
yeah,
most of the time you want to bet here, but this is a sweet line. This is definitely a solver approved line.
Yeah, I like it.
Linus is not thinking, well, I have the best hand most of the time, but with my 3, I unblock a lot of True Teller's decent hands, right? If True Teller has a hand like 9-6, he doesn't even mind, just winning the pot now. I mean, maybe against 9-6, he doesn't mind seeing another card, but against a hand like Queen 10, for instance, he kind of does. Linus bets small, less than a third pot, and True Teller goes big with the check raise. So he's thinking, well, I unblock all of the overpairs as well as all the draws, so I'm going to check raise. So yeah, very nice play. Check call, I don't really like as much with this hand.
Yeah, I mean, especially against that sizing, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Call by Linus. But now...
Wow.
So, it's quite close. But the thing is, True Teller's overpair... I mean, True Teller's not beating an overpair anymore, and Linus could easily have a flush. So I think at this point, you don't want to go for like an 8k bet, some kind of quarter pot block bet. I think you just want to shove or check. I think this hand is not quite good enough. So I'd like to see a check. Okay.
Nice.
And Linus, I mean, with less than 3/4 spot behind easy shove, of course. I would not bet 8-kin issues either. I mean, either you go all in here or you check. And truth, I was thinking, well, I unblock hands like 10-9, etc. Maybe Linus is fucking with me. You know, how can I fold top 2 here? Maybe Linus even has the same type of hand. It's close. Against a good player, you probably have to end up calling this hand.
Yeah.
Against a like nitty face-up player, you can probably find a tough fold. But yeah, I think you got to call this one. So
yeah. Have to also take into consideration like how big he raised on the turn, right? Like I think he made it pretty huge, right, against Linus's bet.
Yeah.
You can pretty much take open-enders quite a bit out of Linus's range without flush draws to it, so kind of hard to come up with bluffs.
But we did see in that 5-6 hand that Linus is willing to call light. Obviously, that was not the same session.
视频里狗哥说的是这手牌 ，OTB 用顶对大踢脚在转牌超持下注。Linus 用一个双卡顺的5-6S 跟住了，随后和牌发出了3，所以 True Taylor 这里的7倍加注也不能完全排除 Linus 的两头顺。
But you know, Linus is a good enough player to find some find some bluffs here.
Yeah.
But you know, I think folding is an okay play, but you can't make a habit out of folding hands this good against such a good player.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would say Linus's play was an 8 out of 10. True Taylor's play was 8 out of 10. Seems fair, right?
No, I think we'll go like for 9. It's pretty interesting line, right?
第二手牌发生在3人桌，除了 True Taylor 和 Linus 之外 ，OTB 也加入了。
Okay, so OTB opens here in the 100, 200, 300 game. I think it was the same session as the hand we reviewed before. Linus 3-bets to 11, which seems alright. Most people go even a little bit bigger now. So there's multiple strategies you can use. You can 3-bet a bit bigger, a bit smaller. Both have merits. So I like kind of the medium size. Show Forest likes the bigger size. Easy 3-bet, obviously, always with queens. King Jack suited, easy call. This is not really the hand you want to 4-bet. Like King Jack offsuit, you want to 4-bet maybe, or like Ace 4 suited sometimes, or maybe like Queen 9 suited, stuff like that. But King Jack is too good on the button at least.
Yeah.
So remember how Born to Tilt went 2200 here?
视频里狗哥说的是这手牌 ，Born to Tilt 在中了一个顶对弱踢脚的情况下。下注了半池 ，Linus 用 K7带后门顺跟注。当然，这里 Born to Tilt 下注半池是希望立刻拿下底池了，而 Linus 在翻牌下注1/3是希望能保留对手的范围，同时扩大底池。
So Linus decides to go with a third pot bet, although this board is a little bit more dry than the other one. So Linus does decide probably to bet his full range here, or at least bet a lot. And OTB, I think, should only call here. There's not a lot of raising going on. If you sim a board like this, it will tell you to raise like maybe 2-3% of the time. So most people raise sometimes or never. What do you think? Easy call?
Yeah. I would say pretty easy call on this board. Yeah, like you said, not a lot of raising going on. And yeah, maybe he bets 1/3 because he has queen.
That's possible, but I guess we have to give Linus a little bit more credit. So this is interesting because if you sim this one, probably it will tell you to check the pocket queens, at least very often. But Linus is not. So he's probably thinking that because the board is so draw heavy, he wants to continue betting and like queens, and maybe if the board were rainbow, then he would decide to check. Who knows? It's very important that once you see about your whole range, obviously you have strong checks, right? So you can maybe check hand like queens, or hand like aces, or hands like ace jack or jack 10. You'll have some hands like 4 or 5 of clubs, but those probably you want to keep on betting as well sometimes. So he decides to bet, and it would even be a nice bet checking hand. OTB thinks in this spot that he unblocks all the, most of the draws, like especially the lower ones and the club draws. He blocks kings. He probably thinks that Linus mostly checks with ace-king, but would continue to bet with maybe like ace-10, 10-9, 9-8, 5-6, ace-5, ace-deuce. So I think this is a pile-proof call so far.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how earlier we saw a hand when they were like deeper. Actually, OTB, when he battled turn here, he went for an overbet. But now actually Linus, we see like he kind of goes for like a smaller bet on the turn, and leaving himself more behind on the turn.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a different spot, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Both plays again have merits. Like in poker, a lot of the time there's multiple valid strategies, and one is not necessarily much better than the other, as long as you know how to play it. So it's also a matter of preference. And one thing, guys, if you're, let's say, playing NO 100, if you look at high 6 players, like the top 5 to 10 best ones, they still play quite differently. So it's not like everybody plays exactly the same,
yeah,
which should give you a bit of hope, right? That if you have some kind of unique style, that it could work if you keep on improving. This is actually another interesting spot, right? Linus could definitely end up checking here, thinking that, well, if OTB has nothing, he's going to shove. If OTB has a queen, if he has the last queen, he's probably going to shove anyway. Obviously, it does put a jack in an easy spot if OTB has it, and like he does, he can now check behind. Whereas, he might call. But I think Linus, actually, if Linus had jacks, I think he should almost always shove. But if he has queens, actually, I don't mind checking, getting a bet out of ace 10 of clubs or, 8
Yeah, there's quite a few, right?
Or ace 5 of clubs or stuff like that. So actually wouldn't mind a check here.
Yeah, would be pretty sick. Yeah.
But Linus doesn't listen. And he got lucky here because OTB has this hand is definitely not a guaranteed call, so that makes me actually like a check even more because OTB obviously is not folding a queen, but you have two of them, right? But he may definitely fold the jack.
Yeah,
so
pretty counterintuitive line by Linus here. Yeah, exactly. You don't really see this, right? Like triple barreling with upset and it's like draw out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On the turn, I get it a bit more because the board is still quite draw heavy, but on the river, I like it a bit less. But it does happen sometimes. So, or maybe he just thinks OTB is a station who's too rich, and he's like, I'm gonna milk this guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, probably.
16K.
Yeah, nice.
So, okay, how do we rate this hand? OTB pre-flop, flop, turn, very standard. You could fold turn, but I like to call. On the river, I think it's probably good. Unblocking the 10 and the 9 and the clubs. Blocking kings is also important. Linus is going to fast play kings more than aces.
Yeah.
I think OTB's plays an 8 out of 10. Linus's plays a 7 out of 10.
大家会给 Linus 的这两手牌打几分呢？把你们的分数打在弹幕上吧。很多吃瓜群众都会觉得 Linus 的运气实在是太好了，怎么打怎么有，跟平台简直是一伙的。对此，狗哥也谈了自己的看法。大底池基本上很多冤家牌，这些牌最后的跟注或者弃牌的决策都很接近 ，EV 差异很小。Linus 确实很上风才会赢这么多大底池。如果要看 Linus 的技术，还是需要多去看 Linus 对小底池的细腻处理。这个观点狗哥在直播中也反复多次提到，要多去看完整的实战视频，比如这2个月 GG Poker 高额桌视频就是很有价值的学习材料。这期的视频就到这里，如果大家喜欢我的视频，记得长按点赞3连哦。下期再见。